Atheists Proposing Intelligent Design by Space Aliens. Richard Dawkins says, "It could be that at some earlier time somewhere in the universe a civilization evolved by probably some kind of Darwinian means to a very, very high level of technology and designed a form of life that they seeded onto perhaps this planet. Now, that is a possibility and an intriguing possibility, and I suppose it's possible that you might find evidence for that if you look at the details of biochemistry and molecular biology. You might find a signature of some sort of designer." Peter Singer says, "If we do ever meet an intelligent alien, even a tasty one, I hope we have sufficient ethical awareness. What moral status would extraterrestrials have? Would we have obligations to them? Would they have rights?" Sam Harris says, "If intelligently designed, our universe could be running as a simulation on an alien supercomputer." A prominent atheist illusion involves the question of intelligent design theory and the ability to study it scientifically. When scientists use this reasoning to argue for the existence of God, atheists mock intelligent design, claiming that it is foolish, unscientific propaganda. Yet when scientists use the same line of reasoning to argue for the existence of space aliens, atheists freely welcome intelligent design theory as a rational form of serious scientific inquiry. What is intelligent design? According to one of the leading websites in that field, the theory of intelligent design holds that certain features of the universe and of living things are best explained by an intelligent cause, not an undirected process such as natural selection. A philosopher supporting the theory has described it like this: "Intelligent design covers a broad range of special sciences, including forensic science, archaeology, and the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SETI. Intelligent design, by definition, is the study of patterns in nature best explained as the product of intelligence. It is a basic feature of human rationality to identify the products of intelligence and distinguish them from the products of natural forces. Many special sciences capitalize on this distinction. Though scientists in this field are from various religious backgrounds, intelligent design theory does not speculate as to the identity of the designer. They merely investigate the data, pointing out situations in which an intelligent designer is the best explanation for the evidence. Intelligent design theory hinges on one simple question. When you are investigating the origin of a particular item, is it possible to detect evidence of intelligence? When archaeologists discover cave paintings, stone tools, or cuneiform writing carved into ancient clay tablets, is it necessary to explain these things according to natural processes alone? Or can we determine that an intelligent being is the best explanation for the existence of such objects? Are we required to believe that the mere laws of physics and chemistry brought these items into existence? Or is it scientifically justifiable to believe that these things were made by means of an intelligent mind? If it is scientifically possible to detect the evidence of intelligence in the case of paintings, tools, and clay tablets, then what happens if we perform similar scientific investigations on other items, such as living cells, DNA, or the universe itself? If the first three items were designed by intelligent minds, then what about the other three? Is there evidence we can look for to help answer such questions? Is intelligent design a viable theory that can be used for scientific investigation? Strangely enough, atheists seem to think that the answer depends on the identity of the designer. If we assume that the intelligent designer is God, then atheists claim that intelligent design theory is stupid, lazy, masquerading as science, propaganda, and not even a theory. On the other hand, if we assume that the intelligent designers are space aliens, Then, intelligent design suddenly becomes an intriguing possibility. And Dawkins says, you might find evidence for that if you look at the details of biochemistry and molecular biology. If you use the powers of scientific investigation, he says, you might find a signature of some sort of designer. In other words, atheists are perfectly happy to contemplate the possibility of intelligent design as long as the designer is not God. As long as the end result points towards E.T., Yoda, or Klingons, and not towards Jesus Christ, they are content to submit the question to scientific inquiry. They are not biased against intelligent design. They are only biased against the existence of God. Sam Harris chimes in with a thumbs-down vote for religion and a thumbs-up vote for UFOs. He says, we do not know whether there is complex life elsewhere in the cosmos, but there might be. If brilliant extraterrestrials exist, the contents of the Bible and the Quran will be even less impressive to them than they are to human atheists. A number of prominent scientists have set forth a theory of directed panspermia, the idea that space aliens are responsible for the origin of life on Earth. Francis Crick, the Nobel Prize-winning molecular biologist who co-discovered the structure of DNA, was one of the leading promoters of this idea. As relayed in an issue of Scientific American, Dr. Crick suggested that life on Earth may have been designed by aliens. Even alien computer programmers have been proposed as the possible originators of life on Earth. Richard Dawkins says, I cannot think how to disprove that we live in a computer simulation set up by some vastly superior civilization. Sam Harris likewise says, if intelligently designed, our universe could be running as a simulation on an alien supercomputer. Indeed, the alien origin of life on Earth has been a popular theme in many works of science fiction. In an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, they determine the reason why so many sentient races in the Star Trek universe are similar to humans. They discover that DNA fragments seeded into the primordial genetic material of 19 worlds could be rearranged to assemble a computer algorithm. The Enterprise crew eventually discovers that an alien progenitor race, 4 billion years prior, had seeded genetic material across many star systems, thus directing the evolution of many humanoid species. In the film Prometheus, in multiple archaeological sites from ancient civilizations, scholars discover a particular pictogram that is common to all the sites. They decipher the pictogram and find that it is an invitation from the engineers who designed the human race. The researchers go on a quest to find these engineers, hoping to discover more about the origins of mankind. A famous atheist who promoted this idea in the 1950s was Sir Frederick Hoyle, who was well known as an astronomer, mathematician, and sci-fi novelist. Hoyle wrote the novel Black Cloud, in which humans discover a race of superintelligent beings who have existed for all eternity. In the story, the alien cloud itself is 500 million years old, but it claims to descend from a race of beings that had no beginning at all. Humans initially believe that the cloud is just a lifeless astronomical object, like an asteroid or nebula. They proceed to study various natural phenomena in the Earth's upper atmosphere. But the scientists in the story find it impossible to explain these particular phenomena in naturalistic terms. The scientific data lead them to believe that there is evidence of intelligent design. The only reasonable conclusion is that an intelligent being is the origin of the phenomena they are investigating. They try to establish communication with the alien, and they ultimately succeed. This fictional story was highly influential in the psychological formation of a young man named Richard Dawkins, who would later become an evangelist for atheism. In a New York Times interview, they asked him, "What book has had the greatest impact on you?" Dawkins' response was, "Fred Hoyle's Black Cloud. I learned more science from it at a formative age than one ever expects from a work of fiction. Above all, the novel bequeathed me the haunting idea of the deep problems of existence and origins." So, of all the books that have ever been written, the one that most deeply influenced Richard Dawkins is a sci-fi novel in which atheist scientists use a form of intelligent design theory to discover the existence of an ancient alien superintelligence. And over half a century later, Dawkins promotes the same idea as a viable option for scientific inquiry. Indeed, he even indicates that aliens may have godlike powers. In his book, The God Delusion, he says, "There are very probably alien civilizations that are superhuman, to the point of being godlike in ways that exceed anything a theologian could possibly imagine. Their technical achievements would seem as supernatural to us as ours would seem to a Dark Age peasant transported to the 21st century. Yet, when discussing intelligent design, if you turn the conversation away from space aliens and towards the existence of God, atheists suddenly flip-flop, heaping scorn and ridicule on anyone who would be so crazy as to think that intelligence could be detected by scientific means." Consider the following comments from Dawkins, Harris, Dennett, and Hitchens. Richard Dawkins says, "To suggest that the original prime mover was complicated enough to indulge in intelligent design is tantamount to dealing yourself a perfect hand at bridge." Dawkins also says, "The research strategy of these so-called intelligent design people is lazy and defeatist and not part of the scientific method." Sam Harris says, "The problem with intelligent design is that it is nothing more than a program of political and religious advocacy masquerading as science." Daniel Dennett says, "Intelligent design proponents have all been carefully and patiently rebutted by conscientious scientists who have taken the trouble to penetrate their smokescreens of propaganda." Christopher Hitchens says, "The stupid notion of intelligent design is not even a theory. In all its well-financed propaganda, it has never even attempted to show how one single piece of the natural world is explained better by design than by evolutionary competition." All the shelves of atheistic pontification on this subject can be boiled down to these two contradictory statements. First, you don't believe that life arose on Earth by chance? You think there is scientific evidence for intelligent design, and you believe this was all created by God? Sounds crazy. Second, you don't believe that life arose on Earth by chance? You think there is scientific evidence for intelligent design, and you believe this was all put here by space aliens? Sounds reasonable. Their bias is obvious.